Hello and welcome to DiGiorgio Fantasy Football, a very good choice for all of your fantasy football needs. My name is Avery, and I've been watching football for plenty of years now, and I've been playing fantasy football for almost as long. If you do not know what fantasy football is, I would pause this video, Google it, and come on right back over here. So I'm going to be doing all my statistics, rankings, and projections based off of a standard scoring league. I've been in the same fantasy football league for several years now, and it is a standard scoring league with 14 teams and has a super flex position. And I'll go over standard scoring and super flex position in a moment here. First, I'm going to go over all the roster spots that make up your fantasy football team. So, you have your quarterback, which might arguably be the most important position on your roster, then 2 wide receivers, a running back, 1 tight end, and 3 flex positions, and a defense. For the flex positions, your first flex position is going to have a running back or a wide receiver. The next flex position is going to have a running back, wide receiver, or a tight end. And the next flex position is going to have a quarterback, wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end. And that is known as your super flex position. So there are no kickers in this league, and you have 7 bench spots on your roster. Okay, so I will go over scoring now for all of your roster spots. Start with all of your offensive players and defensive scoring. So it's going to be 50 passing yards for 1 point, and it's going to be 4 points for 1 passing touchdown. It's going to be -2 points for an interception. And so for rushing and receiving yards and touchdowns, they're going to be the same. So for yards, it'll be 20 rushing or receiving yards for 1 point, and then it'll be 6 points for 1 rushing or receiving touchdown. It'll be -2 points for a fumble that was lost, and it will be 2 points for a 2-point conversion. And it'll be 6 points for an offensive fumble recovery for a touchdown. So a passing touchdown is going to be 4 points, and every other touchdown a player can score is going to be 6 points. So that brings us on over to the defense. And the defense is not going to be only your defense, but it'll be the defense and special teams. So it'll be grouped together when you draft your defense. So it'll be 1 point for 1 sack, 2 points for 1 interception, 2 points for a fumble recovery, 6 points for a touchdown, 2 points for a safety, 2 points for a blocked kick. And this is where we go on to our special teams. It's going to be 30 yards of 30 return yards for 1 point, and then it's going to be 6 points for 1 return touchdown. So that's going to be a punt or a kick return touchdown, 6 points. Then your defense is also going to start out with 10 points each game. So that's when there's 15 minutes in the first quarter and it says 0-0 for both teams. It will say 10 points for your defense, even though they did nothing. And that is a good thing. It's a nice little point buffer, because as points get scored on them, they will decrease in their total points. So I will go over that right now. So they allow 0 points. They start out with the 10, so they'll keep the 10. They allow 1 to 6 points, they'll drop down by 3. They allow 7 to 13 points, they'll drop down by another 3. They allow 14 to 20 points, they'll drop down by another 3. If they allow 21 to 27 points, they'll drop down by 1. So it starts slowing down a little bit. They allow 28 to 34 points, they'll drop down by another 1. They allow anything over 35 points, they'll drop down by another 3. So you started out with that 10, and you dropped down to -4. But don't get too worried about the points allowed, because there are plenty of other ways for your defense to score, whether it be interceptions or fumbles or anything else you can think of your defense or special teams can do. And then an extra point return is going to be 2 points. Whew. Alright, so we got through all the boring stuff. Yeah, it's not so fun going over this stuff, but it's very important because that's how the scoring works for all the players, and in order to have a fun league, you need to have a fair league. So that's why I'm going over the scoring right now. And you can find all of this on my website, and that's going to be DiGiorgioFantasyFootball.com. And I have this posted as well as all the rankings for the 2020 fantasy football season. So I have all the players ranked in there, and some people may surprise you. So give that a look. And I will also have a spreadsheet posted on there sometime in March, and that'll have different information and statistics for all the players for the upcoming football season. And I'll kind of go over, well, I don't want to give anything away yet. I have some unique statistics that cannot be found anywhere but on DiGiorgioFantasyFootball.com. So I will let you know when that is posted, and it will be sometime in March. Totally free, so give it a look. It's definitely good to recap your previous fantasy season, or else you're going to make the same mistakes you made in the previous year. So yeah, it does not hurt to take a look. And yeah, as the off-season progresses, as like free agency starts and the whole draft process starts, I will have a bunch of updates. So I will be posting these on YouTube as well as my website. So give both of them a look. My next video will probably be a recap of the 2020 season. I'll go over some of the people who probably ruined your fantasy football season. So hopefully we can put that behind us. And we'll go over some of the people who maybe won you a fantasy championship. So maybe we could celebrate that for a second. So yeah, go over that a little bit. And I'll be doing a lot of these videos until I get hired by ESPN or I get abducted by aliens. So whatever comes first. So if you like what you watched, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe to the channel. So thank you. Thanks for watching DiGiorgio Fantasy Football, and have a good one.